Hi everybody, I am so excited. I have a postpartum doula training coming up this weekend, and an important part of working with families in the postpartum window is learning how to use different slings and carriers. And so for everyone who's registered for the postpartum doula training, I am sending them a very versatile sling that they can learn how to use in the class, and then they can show their families when they're working with them. And so the one that we're using is called Kids and Such. And so people will get a package that looks like this. And what I love about this sling is that it offers two different styles. One is the long wrap style, like the Moby or the Sally, and the other is a ring sling, like the Maya wrap or many of the others that we like. And so I wanted to do a video of how to set it up. So they did a really good job of the instructions that everybody will get when they get this, but I also wanted to encourage our clients to learn how to use this. So there are, at first I wanted to show how to do the ring sling and how to set that up. So to do the ring sling, it's a long piece of fabric. So it's about, what is that, maybe 1.5 feet, 2 feet in width. And there is a logo at the center. So here's the Kids and Such logo right here. And so you find that logo, and it comes with rings. So you can use it as a wrap, or if you set it up with the rings. So you're gonna take both rings, and then from the center where that Kids and Such tag is, you're gonna start out with the rings. And then what they have you do is you put that, let's see, doing this on video is much different than in person. So bring that over your shoulder, and then they have you pull this across your body. There we go. And then you still have both layers of fabric. So there's two sides to this here, and you're gonna pull it through the ring sling completely, the rings completely, I should say. And then you're gonna create a nice slip knot by opening up and going between the two rings. Can you see that? Between the two rings. And now I'm gonna pull it through. Maybe I'll edit some of this time out of the video. So now I have a wonderful adjustable pocket. So we bring the rings up a little bit more over my shoulder. And so let's see, moving that out of the way. So now we've got a pocket, and we've got a 2-layer pocket. And if we need to adjust the rings, what we're gonna do is let's see, I might have gotten these a little twisted here. There we go. You gotta bring the fabric a little bit more towards the front. So if we need to adjust the fabric, what you do is and as you adjust the fabric, what you'll do is you'll lift up on this outside one, and now this makes it really easy to slip the fabric back and forth. And so we have this 2-layer fabric, which is different than a pocket sling that is exclusively a pocket sling. So for safety, we will want to make sure that we keep these two pockets together and in alignment, so that when we place the baby in our pocket, they're not slipping between one pocket and the other. So now I've got my two pockets in alignment, and we call these rails. There's a top and a bottom. So I want to make sure this bottom rail is close to my body, so that when I put the baby in here, they don't fall in between the sling and the rail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull, and either the front or the back of this fabric, what we call the tail here, will correspond with the fabric close to my chest. So I'm going to guess that it's on the outside here, and again, we have to be mindful that we're grabbing both layers at the same time, not just one. So I've got both layers, I think. And now I'm going to pull, and it looks like this is making the outside tighter. So let me grab this section and there we go. Now we're getting the inside close to me. So now I've got a nice little pocket, and I'm going to take a moment, grab my baby, which is right here. And when we're placing a baby in a pocket sling, I'm going to bring the ring up high on my shoulder. and then make sure that the pocket is towards my front. And we have to plan ahead that the baby's head doesn't get really close to these rings because there's not a lot of space here, so there won't be as much adjustability. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to aim my baby's butt for the middle of my sling here. Again, making sure that I have all the pieces of fabric, not missing any. And when we have a real baby, they don't like us just to place them in there. They want to kind of be bounced. So we bounce a little bit. Now I made sure that I've got both layers of fabric close to me. Here's one, here's two. And both layers on the other side of the baby are together. And you can see how there's some distance between the baby's head and these rings. And then once you've got your baby in the sling, now you're going to tighten as you need to. Now, as you notice here, what I've got is the sling is on the outside of the baby's ear, and that keeps the baby's head up so that they don't slip into the sling. And we want the baby to be more or less upright. Now, one of the reasons why I got this sling for all of you is because it's one of the few styles of slings that new families can also chest feed in. So if a person wanted to chest feed, if baby became hungry while they were wearing the baby, then all they would do is they would bring their hand in between, grab this piece of fabric that's close to them, and then put that underneath their chest, and then they could roll the baby in for nursing. And when they're ready to nurse on the other side, they simply roll the whole sling over the other side, and now they're doing football hold. So it's really, really versatile, and now the birthing person can drink and eat and go to the bathroom, all of those things. Now, one of the downsides to this exact sling is because it has so much versatility, it can be a wrap or a ring sling, is that it has a very long tail. So what we're going to want to do is make sure that when we've got the baby settled in here, we tuck that fabric. Otherwise, it's already dragging on the floor for me. I'm only 5'2", but just want to make sure that you've got some place to put the fabric. And then for us, when we're wearing babies, if we do need to go to the bathroom, we would want to make sure that the fabric is up away from the toilet. Very common for a chest feeding person to need to do that. So that's how to set it up for a ring sling. And now I'm going to show you how to set it up for baby wearing with a wrap. And I'm going to show you the way that I was taught decades ago by a person who brought this style of sling from South America. And it's different than they show you in many of the videos for Moby and many of the other wraps. So bear with me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to deconstruct my ring sling. And that's another nice thing about ring slings is that when the baby falls asleep, it's really easy to get them in and out as you need. All right, so I've deconstructed it, and now I just have 12 yards of fabric or whatever it is. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find that tag again. And the way that many of the videos show is that they have you wrap yourself first and then put your baby in the sling. And I find that that is wonderful once people are really skilled at it. But when babies are new and when families are new, it can be challenging because they often find that they either made the fabric way too loose and they didn't feel safe and comfortable with the baby in the wrap, or too tight and they kind of felt like they were having to force the baby into the sling. So what I'm going to do is start with the baby on me. So I'm going to bring my baby chest to chest, turn their head, of course. Now I'm going to use gravity as a tool to keep the baby onto me. So to do that, I'm going to be leaning back, and all babies want movement. So I would be moving slowly back and forth, leaning back. And I've got this fabric, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it underneath the baby's occiput here at the back of their head, and then use my forearm along the baby's back to support them on me. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 arm lengths of fabric. So here's 1 arm length. I'm going to grab it with these fingers so I can get the other arm length. So now I've got 2 arm lengths of fabric. I'm going to drop the fingers close to the baby. So that now gives me the ability to swing. And I'm going to hold the fabric like a tray. So my hands, my fingers are up. And then I'm gonna swing it underneath this arm and over the opposite shoulder. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull until I can feel the fabric here at the baby's head getting firm, right? So make sure that that's supporting the baby. And then I'm going to cross it underneath between the baby's legs and bring it over to the other side, or actually back to the same side. And now I'm going to do the same thing over here. So you can see actually this is already pretty firm against the baby. I'm still, of course, for safety, going to be holding the baby. I'm going to be leaning back. I'm going to do the same thing, 1 arm length, 2 arm lengths, drop, hold like a tray, fingers up, under and over, opposite arm, and pull tightly until I can feel this fabric again getting firm against the baby. And you can see that it's really firm on my chest. And now I'm going to take my hand out, cross this around to the same side that I started on, and now I'm still leaning back, but the baby is very secure. And now I'm going to wrap it around me. I'm going to kind of stop wherever it wants to stop and do a slip knot, which means I'm just going to create a loop and then put part of the fabric through that. And that's a nice loop that I can get in and out of very, very quickly. And then we're going to make it comfortable for the baby. So to do this, we're going to start with the fabric close to the baby. So I'm going to make sure that it covers the back of the baby's head a little bit so that they can't throw their head back. And then also underneath their bum. So I want to make sure that this fabric isn't way up their back. I want it to be more or less just underneath their thighs a little bit. And then I'm going to take, again, going from the inside out, the next layer is this one. So I'm going to open it up over the baby's bottom first. And I'm going to make sure it gets over here too. There we go. And then I'm going to open it up over my shoulder. So making this nice and wide. And this is why this type of carrier can be so comfortable. We can wear a baby for a long time because it distributes the weight. And then the last layer is the one that's on the outside now. And I'm gonna, let's see, open this up. Oops, grabbing the wrong one. There we go. Video and talking. So again, opening it up over the baby, opening it up over my shoulder. And now, based on my baby's interest, you're going to try to bounce and see which way your baby's head wants to go. Sorry, we would certainly not want to put them face first, but you could roll their head and go whichever direction it seems like baby wants to go. And then you're just going to put a little bit of the fabric over their head. So again, mom has a lot of flexibility. And I can see that some of the baby's arm came out over the top. There we go. So now we've got a very secure baby. And I've got lots of comfort with this fabric to the point that I could actually bend over and the baby would be very, very secure. So I might be able to get laundry or something like that. Now we still have some tails here, so I'm going to take them and tuck them in somewhere in the front so I don't trip over them or get them caught on things. And now I can be really close to my baby. Now this baby might be just a smidge high. We do want them in what's called the kissing position. So we want to be able to put our lips to the top of their forehead, and we want to be able to see them breathe, see their eyes or their nose. So this sling from Kids and Such is coming in your postpartum doula training box. And for those of you who are our clients who just watched this video, we would really recommend getting one of these carriers. I actually love the Maya Wrap or the hot sling, the adjustable pocket hot sling, which is a pocket sling, much simpler. And I'll be showing all of my postpartum doula trainers that also. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great day.